Alright everybody, how y'all doing? Hope everything is well. For those of you that know me on the page, or on my page, I won't be there because, well, I'm in Facebook jail for 3 days. Anyway, let's talk about Cummins. Them little critters like parts sometimes. Got a crankcase filter you got to change out at 69,500 miles. About 400,000 to 600,000 miles, it'll eat an alternator. Water pump, honestly, you should be changing that every 100,000 miles. That's a good preventative maintenance, and it's cheap. It's easy to do. Now, all Cummins parts, like your filters, pulleys, belt tensioner, I have found it's cheaper to buy it from the Cummins part house than it is to buy it from AutoZone or O'Reilly's, and they last longer. You gotta question why they give you a lifetime warranty on a part. Well, you save $50 to $100 on the part, you got a lifetime warranty on it. But if you have to change the thing every other month, what's your time cost you? Sometimes you got to be a little bit smart and realize, okay, maybe I should pay a little bit more money and just replace it with the factory part. I know when the alternator went out in my 4500, I had a choice. Spend $400 for an alternator from Ram. I mean, the first one went 450,000 miles. Why wouldn't the second one? It's not a rebuilt one in China. It's a brand new alternator. So that's the route I went. A buddy of mine, God bless his soul, and part of the reason why I went with the OE alternator was his had died at about 500,000 miles. Replaced it with an AutoZone lifetime warranty and replaced it 4 different times within 6 months. So finally realizing that in that same time period I hadn't had to change mine, and I only paid $160 more for the alternator or so, it was probably worth buying one from Ram. I would have bought one from the Cummins part house, except for when my alternator laid down, I wasn't in the position to do that. Thankfully, I was in Indiana, but nonetheless, I wasn't able to go get one. Did have a belt tensioner start making noise? Well, the pulley did anyway. The pulley was like $45 from Ram, from AutoZone. For $67, I bought the whole assembly, tensioner and pulley, from the Cummins part house. Now, the prices I'm telling you aren't probably accurate anymore, because this has been at least 2 years ago, and it seems like in the last 6 months to a year, everything has doubled in price, damn near, or at least in the used truck industry. Probably parts have probably gone up 20 or 30%. I don't know. I drive a rental truck and they pay the bill. So, but my point is, no matter what, I do know for a fact that the Fleet Guard crankcase filter in your Cummins is cheaper at the Cummins parts house than the Dorman aftermarket one is from AutoZone. I know that for a fact. That sumbitch 3 years ago was $170, $160 thereabout, and they were $87 at the Cummins house for the factory part. I really think try to keep your truck as much OE as you possibly can. I mean, they built the motor, they engineered the part. You know, these guys are making aftermarket parts. They got to cut a corner somewhere. Where's that at? Usually in quality. I don't speak on Ford much, and I don't speak on GM much because, to be honest, I don't have any experience with them, and I don't know anything about where you can buy parts. except for probably at the dealer or aftermarket like everything else. But I do know your Cummins motor has a Cummins parts house that you can buy Cummins parts from and put on it. I'm sure if you had a 7.3, 6.0, or 6.4, you could probably go to International and buy parts for those. Of course, the last two motors are junk, so if you're running those, you're going to wish to God you hadn't. It's a quick way to go to bankruptcy. Anyway, enough about that. Just remember, Cummins parts can be bought at the Cummins parts house and typically cheaper than at the Ram dealer. Because after all, it'll come in a Cummins box from the dealer with a Mopar sticker on it. Anyway, y'all be safe. Y'all be good.